hey, we're back for another third ear, and we're going to get this thing ripping and roaring because we got somebody special. But first, we're going to bring in our very own one and only.
No.
Why does he move so damn fast?
Tone.
No.
Wait.
We're not bringing in Tone?
Okay, at least you got that right.
At least he got that right.
I didn't
this
forget
time.
about him.
Yeah.
Okay, wait.
At least he got that portion right.
Right.
And
'Cause
not,
normally I
just
forgot.
bring in our guest
Right.
first.
That's what I'm saying.
Wait, hang on.
Okay.
Welcome back to the podcast.
Oh.
There you go.
That is one part I forgot. But hey, we had the Tone Smith.
This
our co-host.
dude.
He's been waiting backstage all night for us to get it right. I finally get it right, but I missed one portion.
As usual.
As usual, again, I always think, why aren't you acting like a professional? Oh, wait.
You can't.
It's because you're
You know
not.
what I should
Not
do,
when you're
Daryl?
a crazy
I
ass
should,
monkey.
I should probably put my hand up his ass and use him
Okay,
as a
that's
puppet.
enough.
puppet.
All right, here we go. Tone
Just-
Smith,
Hey,
welcome in.
the
buddy.
upstate, the downstate.
The all around the state.
Oh,
God
my
damn
God.
it, Tone.
Was that like take 12 already?
Oh, you know how this thing goes, man.
Yeah, I do.
It's just really.
How was your weekend, Tone?
Pretty good. What did I do this weekend? So got together with some family. That was nice. Did a typical Gindaloon Italian Sunday dinner, meatballs and spaghetti. And
Typical
Bread.
typical
Bread.
Italian thing to do.
Did you
Yeah.
have like garlic bread? Did you have any
not
salad?
garlic bread, but
Oh,
you
no,
know,
no. just
salad.
regular
Yeah.
bread? Salad?
Well, it'd be
Okay.
typical. My brother and I said we had fried chicken and watermelon. Wouldn't that be typical of
You Italians are hairy. Do you always find food in your hair? Yes or no?
Food in my hair? No.
no.
I mean,
But
hair in your food. You know what I mean.
Food in your hair sounds better.
All right,
Right?
can we move on,
Okay.
please?
We have this guy is very special to us. He is the jazziest of jazziest.
This dude is a fucking cheat code to the
Not
techno
kidding.
world.
not only the techno world, but the jazziest of the jazziest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and on Sprinkles, which is on Thursday nights.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you purposely does this, but maybe we need to give him lessons on microphones.
Yeah. He is the mumbles of mumbles.
I love it.
He is our very own Jonathan R. Cross, ladies and
Jonathan
gentlemen.
R. Cross.
Welcome, buddy.
Hello.
And all his fucking glory. Look, he even knows he's a cheat code.
How are you, Jonathan? How was it over the
Good.
pond, as they say?
Good. All good. Well, it's chilly at the minute, but I guess it's the same way you are, or maybe not. But-
Yeah, it's pretty chilly here.
Yeah, it's cold.
Yeah, we got
So I'm
the heater
fully
going.
granny blanketed up with festival poncho in place, and yeah, I should be nice and warm.
Yeah,
For the
that's-
duration.
Yeah, that all you need is a Clint Eastwood cowboy hat and a 6-shooter. and then you'd be good to go.
or
Good.
a sta-
Lost my headset.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, shit, there it is.
or a
It's okay,
stage.
Me lord.
The
Yeah.
He
Emperor
needs a
has
stage on.
arrived.
Yeah.
Star Wars. Yes, the dark force is
Yes,
with you.
me lord.
Yeah,
Yes.
he belongs on a Star Wars
Right?
stage.
Yeah. Well, it's
Yeah.
good to have you
The
here.
Wizard.
The,
Right?
the whiz.
The whiz.
Was it the Wiz?
There you go.
No, I think the problem with that is it's a microphone that goes direct into the RC505, and if there's a lot of other stuff going on, it's like there's no ducking possible. So like, and if I do the stream through or whatever, then obviously that does cut out.
Yeah,
the
it
audio,
goes
but-
down. Yeah.
Yeah, because I was
I'm
going
like-
to say you're much more clear now.
Yeah, you
so.
definitely. I can definitely hear what you're saying, but
You do actually have a voice.
Right.
on
It's true.
Sprinkle Night,
It's true.
I don't know
Okay.
what the hell
look,
he's saying.
We're gonna have tons of questions for
Yeah.
JRC. Let's get this first track going because I don't want to waste any time. This is gonna be great.
Okay. All right. So the first track is a hardware jams challenge, a low frequency oscillator.
Oh, I think I remember this one.
Yeah, this is going to be fun. JRC and Tone, make sure you guys mute yourself while we play this. And here we go.
God. It's so satisfying.
It's so satisfying. When you're creating a song like this for hardware jams, this one in particular, which machines do you lean on the most to get you through majority of the theme of the song?
Well, always the TR-8S, because the drums are always key. I think the chord monologue is just like baseline city, and always is my first place that I go to in terms of a chunk and bass line. The Microfreak just for mad synthiness and arpeggios and stuff like that. So those three, I would say, are the core. And then it's basically the way it's laid out. So you've got TR-8S and then monologue and Microfreak. So it's like I've got drums, bass, and pads just in a triangle almost, with the Oxy programming the Microfreak and the monologue bass. So yeah, basically just press go, see what kind of bass line the random generator of delight comes up with, tweak it if it sounds all right, and then just go for it. And so it's those three, I would say. The Edge is good for just additional percussive carnage, as is the Swarm for just techno carnage. If you just need a good techno noise to appear at some point, then the Swarm just does that at 0 to 100 in 0.6 seconds. So yeah, they're probably the main ones, unless it's like an acid challenge or something, in which case it would be the TD3 as well. But yeah, for this one in particular, it was more about trying to use the LFO on the monologue and to get it to do that high-pitched craziness. And it was just happenstance that the Microfreak pattern that the Oxy had suggested was funky as heck as well. So bringing that in around as well. So it's just kind of playing. Once the sounds are there, because like for the hardware jams, normally I'll pick the sounds and have a jam first, and then stop, press record, and then do a take. And yeah, normally it's the first take is the one that is done, because if it sounds good enough, then it's good enough and it's out. Because generally I've got about 10 minutes to do it anyway, so you're just like, right, yep, I'll do upload. Oh no, got to start streaming in a minute, so like quick, get it loaded. So yeah, it's definitely that chord monologue for bass lines, Arturio Microfreak for synthy paddiness and arpeggios, TR-8S for drums, and at the minute the Oxy for sequencing purposes is amazing.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I'm going to save my Jazzy Sprinkle questions for after we play one of your those particular tracks, 'cause I got a very specific question about that. But for me, ever since Gracie had turned us on to you've always had this sense about like an urgency about you. You've always had this vibe. You're always up in a higher tempo range. And I always wanted to ask you this question: is that something where you find your resting place is above the 120 tempo or floating around that area? Is that your comfort zone?
I don't know. I like it when it gets up there, definitely. And I think I'm influenced a lot by, obviously, Inky's preference was 142 BPM. So that one always is quite a nice target to get to at the end of a stream. And it's not too fast, because I think once you get above 150, it's getting a bit. Well, you may as well start doing drum and bass, which is also, and which is fine. Keep going, and I should do a couple of those actually. So kind of rather than techno and Jazzy Sprinkles, but Amen Breaks and Jazzy Sprinkles or something. Have thought about that. And then you get the 90 BPM and 180 BPM to play with as well. But yeah, I mean, I think also when I'm dancing, probably that's the range that I would enjoy dancing, kind of the 130 to 140-ish.
Don't.
I'm not a huge techno connoisseur at all. I love what you do. I think you're great at it. But I do really enjoy jazz. I find it interesting, the two, because I don't immediately think they fit together. But watching a bunch of your stuff today, both the jazzy stuff and the techno stuff, I realized you're it's kind of like an experimentation thing. They both lend to experimentation specifically. A little free form, but you know, that kind of thing. So do you find like, I don't know, how do you bring them together? You bring them together pretty well, but like, how are you getting there? How does that go through? How do you go through that and get there?
Accidentally at first. So, you know, I was playing a techno jam one night. I think I was live streaming it, and then started jamming, and I was like, oh, yeah. And carried on a little bit, and I thought, okay, that sounds quite interesting. And I think, I mean, when you really think about the roots of both, you know, in terms of, you know, the black roots of techno and the black roots of jazz, it's all syncopation based. There's like the harmonies, the ideas, just there is such an overlap in terms of, and you know, where it came from principally. And I think that shines through in terms of how, and therefore, because it's built on those kind of foundations, they do blend together in a strange way.
Yeah, it's great. It's fun to hear because it's not what I'm used to at all from either side to
cool.
feed into the other. It's really cool.
Yeah. Have you ever done anything like in the 60s instead of like 142? Let's cut it in half. 70. Have you ever done anything in the 70 range?
Yeah, so maybe not as low as 70, but some definitely. I've done a few good, well, I like them anyway, drone tracks, or there's a few drones that are really, some are kind of way low BPM. The piano stuff, obviously, sometimes you play it when I'm playing the piano without playing anything else. That's always quite nice to be slow and relaxed. But I think, no, probably more, not as slow as that, depending on what it is, I guess.
Yeah.
Depending on what you're playing. But
can you imagine if we went live on Jazzy Sprinkles one day and you were just playing like 70 BPM? People would be like, what happened?
He's on drugs.
What's wrong
going on?
with
Someone's put him on 33 and a half instead of 45.
Yeah.
Right.
Why is this Thursday dragging on?
I think people would get a big surprise.
Seriously, shit. I mean, I would be hooked.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't know about everybody else.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I have, at the minute, I'm thinking about, well, I'm going to release a load of more down-tempo jams. I mean, everything's on my YouTube anyway, but trying to package them together as some kind of other alias that I haven't really figured out yet. But I want it to be kind of the more slow trip-hop sort of chilled out sort of stuff.
Oh, very
because
cool.
I've got a lot of it. I've got on my YouTube, there's a lot that for different hardware jam challenges, you've got to do all kinds of different genres and tempos and styles sometimes. So I wanted to use some of those somehow, but they don't really fit alongside the techno stuff. So I figured I need some other way of getting them out there. So I'll probably set up a band camp or something for them. But
like an alter ego.
Yeah. But just the focuses on those types of things. Because I like
definitely
that
be
side
there.
of stuff as well.
Yeah, I'd be into that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Sure.
Okay, let's get to the next one. This is another Hardware Jams weekend challenge.
Oh,
and I
sorry.
love
Sorry. Yeah, before we do that one, that last one is my latest release, and it's called Plex. I decided to release it.
Oh,
Ooh,
nice.
Flex. I
Okay.
like that name.
So,
very nice.
sorry. for interrupting.
This one
no,
that
you're
we're
good.
playing now, or the one that we just played?
The first one that you played. So that was the
okay.
jam, and all my releases are just the jam released, basically. with
Right,
a bit
yeah.
Okay.
of
Very
Logic
cool.
mastering assistantness on the top.
Yeah.
And we're gonna post all the links and everything in the description. But you mentioned Bandcamp, so you do have a Bandcamp for all your releases? Okay, perfect.
Yep.
Sweet.
We will post that there too. Okay, so this next Hardware Jams challenge is called What's in the Basement?
What's
yeah.
ASIF stripe.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to hear this. Alrighty, here we go. There was something in the basement, all right.
There was
my
definitely
God.
something in the basement.
There is a whole lot in the
Now,
basement.
I don't know if the audience is hearing this in stereo. We've been having some stereo issues. For that, I apologize. But we hear it how it's supposed to be played.
Everywhere.
Make sure you click the link and go to this man's
Yes.
channel. He is a fucking genius, and he knows it. He's a cheat code. Fuck you, JRC. Fuck you all the way home.
We've been saying that ever since we met him.
There you go. Yeah, you go hide. That's right. You go hide.
Let me tell you something. Okay, I was telling the wife in
That's
here.
your alter ego for
Yeah,
your
there
for
it
your other
is. You
stuff. Right
better
there.
hide.
You got it.
There you go.
Running high, sir.
I was
Dark,
telling the wife,
dark
look,
sprinkles.
dark
Yeah,
sprinkles.
dark sprinkles. There
I
you
was
go.
telling the wife, I said, on this track, there's so many different instruments and information moving at different rates. I got sounds over here, and it's everything is moving. Now, a lot of people like to take their initial intro in their song and they'll take it somewhere and just completely dive off to the left, right? Not this. This stayed centered and everything was married up and moving around and taking you on this roller coaster. It's almost like mass organized confusion, and it is fucking sick.
Yeah.
Do you go into these projects with an end game? Are you in full control of this starship?
No, I mean the story behind these ones. I think this was the first week where we had, I think it was a 1 of 4 part hardware jams challenge. Where the first one, exactly as you saw the captions, they were my story. That was the story that we all had to jam to. So going into the basement, finding something under a sheet, looks like some mad instrumental engine, and you start pressing buttons. And you had to make a jam that you could make on this machine that you just found. So we did an amazing, like the submissions for that alone were amazing. And it was the first time that Sebastian Smith, Septic Smile, had done like this kind of animation stuff to go along with these jams. And he had this whole alien spaceship thing going on. It was just, anyway. And then, so yeah, that was the story of that jam. So you had this kind of, I knew it had to be quite epic and sort of otherworldly and odd and different. And I wanted there to be some tension and kind of a big introduction, or a long introduction rather, that built up to something. But also I think the drop where it suddenly stops and you press stop, like that's obviously not precisely timed either. So anybody that tries to mix it if they're using sync, they're probably going to struggle if they try and mix it, because when it comes back in, it'll either be out or before that anyway.
Right.
But no, I think so. No, and then it's just about sound choices. What sounds good as a bass, kind of, that's what I'm going to use. And then it's trying to build that into what's my introduction. How do I bring in drums and other bits? How do I turn it into a middle bit? What's the peak? And then how do you get out of it at the end? So you've always got to kind of have the overall structure in mind, I think. But then once you get into it, you've got the timer or not, and you've got to just crack on and do it. It's basically whatever happens with the sounds that you've chosen, unless it's a jam from scratch, obviously. But if you've got a chance to prepare stuff beforehand and pick the sounds, then yeah, it feels more thought out, especially when you've got a good story to work around. So I think the more abstract ones, like, here's a picture, or jam about colors, or or use reverb in an interesting way, they're always going to generate different types of things than, say, a massive storyline about an alien spaceship.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I need to know, and I like asking these questions, but when you were growing up, what came first? Was it jazz or techno? Like what sparked you to lean this way? What was the first passion?
Definitely the piano, because my mum was a piano teacher, my granddad was a piano teacher, and my granddad also played in jazz bands in wherever he was, whatever village, town, and I heard him playing that, and I recorded him playing, and then tried to copy it. And then one year, I think when I was about 7, my mum tells me that I suddenly started asking all kinds of questions about. I'd found these books of music. They just had a chord symbol, so C7, FM for F minor or whatever, and the melody. And I was like, "What's what's for m means?" And then she would show me how to make a major chord, and then show me how to make a minor chord, and then say, "Oh, it works in every single key, and all you need to do is count this number of notes, and then that number of notes to the next one. That's the chord." So then I just sat, I think, all summer holidays and tried to figure out how to play all the chords and everything in these books, and just I could never be able to practice anything. I just would play from start to finish and see what happened, and just get to the end and then go, okay, well, that was rubbish, next. And then I guess over time, you go through the book enough times, you practice something enough, well, you play it through enough, you kind of figure out what comes next. But yeah, I was never very good at practicing. But yeah, definitely the piano and jazz. I think because when I was a teenager, I think I was listening to all kinds of madness. In fact, before I was a teenager, it was like Alice Cooper and Iron Maiden and.
Oh wow,
That's definitely madness. That's definitely not jazz.
right? Yeah.
And then, but at the same time, I'd be listening to Billie Holiday and Nina Simone
okay.
and Ella Fitzgerald, and then or Oscar Peterson on the piano. Like Errol Garner on the piano. So loads of piano. So it was a bizarre mix. And then I would hear a lot of the stuff that was around in the 80s, I guess. But I wasn't a big pop kind of fan really in terms of music, apart from maybe I had a Michael Jackson phase for a bit, and where I would dance to Michael Jackson.
Well, who did?
Yeah.
Well, exactly. But then it was really when I went to Leeds. Well, I think once you're a teenager and so it's kind of 17, 18, leaving home, then the music that was playing at the time was obviously more dance music. And I went to Leeds College of Music to try to get on a jazz degree because I thought, oh yeah, I'll be a jazz pianist. That sounds cool. And then they were like, well, you can't play scales because I never had really lessons. I could play classical pieces and I could play jazz pieces and I knew the chords and stuff, but I'd never practiced scales. My mum had never forced me. She'd always just let me, come to it myself rather than say you must practice your scales for 4 hours a day or whatever, because I wouldn't have done it for a start, even though now I wish I had, because I think technically my fingers let me down more than my brain does, if you know what I mean. I know what I want to do, then go no, and it's because I hadn't been drilled and I haven't drilled in that way to do it correctly. So I ended up on a foundation year at Leeds College of Music because I couldn't play scales, and then instead kind of went raving at the Orbit in Morley, which was a kind of club, a techno club that's very famous near Leeds, and had basically every single one of the most amazing techno DJs every single week. From everybody that if they were big at the time, they generally played at the Orbit. So I did that for about 6 months, and then it got a bit kind of okay. I don't really want to be a jazz musician anymore, and then left and went home, got a job, and didn't really think about it much after that. I think I had a little sequencer an RM1X, a Yamaha RM1X, which is like a little groove box, but basically did nothing with music then for about 20 years, and then it was only when. I mean, I played the piano a lot, but didn't make any music or record any music or anything like that. Played in a band from my wife's local village, a covers band, which was pretty cool, and did a few gigs with them. But yeah, generally did nothing. And then it was only Hardware Jams in about 2017, I think. And it was actually the TR-8S when that came out. I was like, I need a Roland drum machine. Why haven't I got a drum machine? Why don't I have I suddenly went, why don't I have a Roland drum machine? And then there was a TR-8S came out, and I was like, oh, that's a Roland. Because I'd been looking at the TR-8, and I was like, that's a cool drum machine, yeah. And then I was like, oh, shiny new thing.
Right.
And then got that, and then, of course, that escalated, and then I needed a bass synth to go with it. So I was like, chord monologue. And then through playing with the band from my wife's village, I had use of a Korg, micro Korg.
Yeah.
So that suddenly got added to the set. And then I think that was it for a while. So I just had 3 things and was doing hardware jams, challenges, and just, every week joining in and making a jam a week since then. And then at some point, I think I saw somebody had released one of their tracks like on streaming platforms or something. And I was like, just released it, did you? Oh. I could probably do that. Yeah.
I could do that.
If you just did that, then I should probably. Yeah, I could. Yeah,
I could do that too. That's funny. Tone, you got anything?
Yeah, a couple things. We have a lot of similar gear. I see your Reface CP behind you. I've got one right over there.
The sprinkle machine.
Yeah, it's wonderful. That thing, it's crazy that they got so much in such a small package at such a low price. I saw you had an OG circuit. That was my first like groove box. That broke me. I called it my gateway drug into the groove box world.
Definitely.
It's a great little piece.
Mine's just down there.
Yeah, I don't use it anymore.
No, I don't.
Yeah. What I noticed about your music, that song in particular is a really good example of it. You really care about timbre. And for a guy who can play jazz, a lot of that song is just you making the instrumentation sing from a timbre standpoint. I mean, I guess that is kind of a techno staple, but you do it very well. Do you want to just touch on that a little bit? I
mean, I think I like the idea of the evolution of a sound. So, and I think the thing about techno is obviously the repetition, which is what then breeds, the groove. And you can add too much stuff, and you can, it doesn't really feel like a techno track anymore at that point, in terms of what I would call proper techno. Just like. But I think how you evolve a sound, obviously, and play the sound is really important. And I think a lot of that comes from jazz soloing as well, and wanting to, but doing it with a bass synth is just, something I couldn't normally do on a piano. So it's also more fun to do that. Yeah. Also, you've got one note to play with, so it's not like chords are an option. And it's just, I don't know. I don't even know if that answers your question, but.
I mean, the evolution point is good. Like you said, you techno can become stale if you're not doing something with it. So,
I mean, I do think as well, I suffer from, and the live streams in particular, I suffer from can't stand still, sort of, I can't stop tweaking something.
Sure.
And sometimes you need to just let something sit for a while, and it's difficult. And if you're constantly doing something, then, it doesn't allow anybody to kind of lock into it. But then actually, in reality, when you're doing the live streams, there's parts where you end up reading the chat or having a sip of your drink or just kind of sitting back for a bit. So it does kind of happen. But I think there is a risk of just constantly twiddling because you're noodling and having fun than crafting something deliberately. And I think that's probably the difference between a hardware jam that's thought about and prepared to a certain extent. It's still always a jam at the end of the day, but you can get it as close to a track structure as you can as you do it.
Yeah, more composition.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Alrighty, we have one more, and this one's another hardware jams. It's make a 142 BPM banger challenge.
Ooh.
I don't know if this was necessarily a challenge at
That's
all.
what I'm saying. Not for JRC, it's not.
And I put that in his
Pretty
comments
standard.
a lot. I'm like, what point of this do they not know
Yeah.
who they're fucking with right here? Like,
Yeah.
Cheat code for sure.
right.
Alrighty, here we go.
I just don't know what to do with you.
Certainly a banger.
Right?
And that's what I mean. Like there's this urgency. Like
Right.
I don't care who you are, you're going to move.
You're gonna move.
Yeah.
You're gonna move. That track just reminds me.
You have to move.
It just reminds me of like Larry Heard, Robert Owens, Frankie Knuckles. Like you have this way about you that they had this ability when they were live to do like the ultimate improv, right? And when I watch you live, you have the same ability. How did you practice the improv? How did you know you could do this with minimum mistakes and keep people in this vibe?
I guess mistakes are.
Happy Jazz
Well, that's a
accidents.
whole other, yeah, exactly.
Because
But
I don't hear them.
well, I think I don't know. I think other jazz pianists would be like, "Oh my god,
Jeez, what is he
But-
doing?
because yeah, but no, I think it came from. I mean, I had in the sixth form, I had a little jazz trio with my mate Pete on drums and my mate Ed on double bass, and then I was playing the piano, and then sometimes we would have my mate Tom who played saxophone, and he would join in. So we would just basically go through the real book and just play songs and jam and take turns improvising. I think I was in a few, like at school they had a jazz band, so I was playing the piano in that, and I think I played the piano in a wind band somewhere else as well. So, but you didn't really get a chance to improvise in those as much. But the jazz trio, that was cool, and then I guess so that was where I wanted to kind of figure out how to do it. But it was, you learn as you go, and you figure, and the notes of the chords. So then I was like, okay, so now I'll play some notes that aren't in the chords, and then if it sounds bad, then carry on, or just keep playing
Right.
until it sounds good. I think that's a lot of it with jazz as well. It was the Adam Neely repetition is
Legitimizes.
exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you do make a mistake, double down on it and just go and hit it and make it work, and try and say, okay, what am I going to do with this now? You played it 4 more times. Okay, you're going to have to go somewhere else now.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I don't know. You just, in terms of the techno side of things, I think of it more as almost stress and release. So like the techno gives the kind of tension, and then the jazz parts are almost like where you sit back a little bit and go, okay, I can just chill for a bit. I've had my face melted by the techno, but it's all right now. And then it goes back the other way again. But then within that, because my fear is that it break the kind of the transcendental aspect of techno by suddenly having some mad piano solo going on from a dance floor perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think pure techno sets have something really special about them as well, that can keep that, if you can keep that going and just keep that insistency, but letting it evolve, as I think that's the kind of best kind of, Surgeon, if I think of, or S.O.R, with Speedy J and all of those guys, and they'll do 5 hours of improvisation and they all jam. There's like 5 musicians or whatever jamming, and Speedy J is basically mixing all of the musicians and what they're jamming into a journey, and that just blows my mind. And so that kind of stuff's amazing. And I'm lost where in terms of what the question was now as well.
No,
The improvisation thing.
Yeah, the improvisation.
And I think, and that's why I enjoy starting from scratch and not planning anything. I start with my bass sounds. I get the audience on the live streams at least to pick a patch for the microfreak that I have to use, so the sound choice is taken away from me. Mm-hmm. The only prep I need to do is turn on the synths and clear out any memories of any previous stuff that's programmed in, and press play, and then it just, whatever happens. And I generally stay in the same sort of key, so it's normally F minor, because that just feels like home, I think. I mean, obviously you stray away from that when you get into it, but still it's an insistent bass line that's basically in F minor all the time, so you end up back there. I think that's another way of the tension and release as well. When you do go off on the piano parts, to
That's
see
your
how far
release.
you can push it and how far
Yeah.
you can make it get out of control without being too discordant and awful.
Mhm.
It's always walking that balance between, yeah, it sounding vanilla and just standard and basic, and then the tension between the discordant notes and the journey that you're taking as well.
Right.
It's,
Um,
which is why I think both lend themselves together in that jazz way as well.
mhm.
From an improvisation point of view, it's almost like you give the instruments a chance to solo as well when you're jamming, even if you're just jamming techno. But through muting and unmuting, and you can create tension that way as well by
Yeah.
building additional frequencies in and dropping stuff out.
I mean,
Crafting
technically,
drops.
all music should be cohesive. Like if you think about it, you could play opera and techno, you can play opera and rap, you can play rock and roll and jazz. Like I think if it's blended well, it should all marry each other because it's all within the same paradigm.
Well, like Tiesto's Adagio for Strings or whoever did it, thingies, the trance track where it's Barber's Adagio for Strings, but with trance build-ups and drums and stuff, and it's amazing. Again, they blend and they fit together, and it works.
I got
Because
a
at the end of the
question.
day, it's music.
Yeah,
Right.
that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
That was my point. It's all music in the same
Yeah.
key. I got a question for you. And this is just like where you're at. Have you sat back and found completion in your sound? Are you happy with it? I know you're comfortable with what you do, but like, is there still more to uncover? And have you found completion with what you're doing? Do you like where you're at?
I love where I'm at. No, I haven't. Definitely haven't completed it, mate. There's so much to learn, even about synths that I've got that I don't understand yet. And I think you do by just having them. I think in terms of new gear, there's always that gear acquisition syndrome on the horizon, going, "Oh, shiny new thing, shiny new thing." But in terms of what I've got now, I genuinely don't feel like I need anything. If anything, I need to trim it down a bit. But things that I could possibly do with are things like a sampler, like the little Roland P6 or something might be quite nice to fit in, but small things. But no, gear-wise, I think, and because of that, I was watching a video today on YouTube about the 90s producing method or whatever, as a way to limit the choice that you use when you're producing in a DAW. So you just always use the same compressor or you use the same effects, and you apply them as you would have done if that was the only gear you had in your room.
Right.
And you've only had a few synths, and then through the limitations of just the gear and being consistent over years of doing the same thing with the same gear in a similar way, you build up a sound that becomes noticeable as you, I think. And you can do it in a DAW, or you can do it, with gear, and it's easier with gear because they are physical limitations, and that therefore impacts the sound. And your only option is to add something in or leave it out if you make it sound different. But it's still got a kind of overallness to it, I think, no matter whether it's a slow one or a fast one, because those core sounds are still there, I guess. It's interesting.
Yeah. Yep.
Do you spend time writing or making music in DAW, or do you strictly stick to what's on the table and then just record it in whatever way, shape, or form?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of tracks on my Bandcamp that were just done in the DAW, where I recorded things into and did it in a way. But I think while it was in what's the free Logic called?
GarageBand.
GarageBand, yeah. So it was in there, which is fine. But yeah, once I started playing the synths, that's far more fun. Takes less time. I don't have to think about anything afterwards.
Right.
If anything, I wish that I had multi-tracked everything and I had enough interfaces to get all of the individual stuff. Because certainly in the early days, I think you listen back and you go, "Oh, the bass is far too loud," or "Oh no, what have I done? Oh, can I get rid of that snare?" No, that's it. But that also teaches you not to worry about it and just move on and do the next one. You tweak it for the next time.
Yeah.
So your next jam's just incrementally more complete. And I've got over 1,000 video of jams on my YouTube. Literally, my
That's
YouTube
great.
is
I didn't
everything
realize-
I've ever done
Mhm.
That's
since
a lot,
I started at hardware jams. Since I started jamming, basically, but I think incremental tweaks over those then end up with I don't need to tweak anything before I start now. I just turn it on and go, and I know that it's probably going to sound fine.
Do you treasure the library that you've created on YouTube? It's really a cool thing. I'm just getting into putting things there. I came from a different world where you put out records and kids came to see your shows and stuff like that. And like the idea of just like, hey, I've got an idea, put a camera on it, record it in, quick mix, send it to YouTube. It's there forever. Yeah, I don't know. How do you seem to treat it that way? So
yeah, it's. I think it's just interesting for me, at least, in terms of there's a chronology there. I think there's a part of me that when I started, I wanted that to be something after I've gone that my kids can look at, and not that they ever would, because they'd be like, but they might want to see.
that's not K-pop, Dad.
They know exactly what. Yeah, they know exactly what I'm doing. They've been part of. They've even joined in the stream throughs, I think, as well with hardware jams at times. But yeah, so there was a want and a desire almost to kind of capture something for the future that can remain and persist, and also because the fact that I'm a musician and I'd never really put anything down tangible apart from the odd recorded video of me playing the piano or whatever. I was like, but that doesn't really when I'm gone, I need something that's going to represent a lot of what I did. Do you know what I mean? So I think that's a big driver as well. Wanting to just get it out there, and then I figured, well, if I'm making it anyway and wanting to make a record or something, I may as well be sharing it as far as I possibly can at the same time, because other people might also enjoy it. You never know.
Definitely. Well, this was really fun. I feel like we need to have JRC back. Like, I have like 1,001 more questions.
You can't help but to have more questions.
Sometimes I want to deep dive more into the actual, person.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Damn you people with short attention spans.
JRC, we got to have you back on for another much more in-depth interview.
And we can always do a third ear redo. And
a reboot,
extended
like a
cuts.
reboot. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
An
there you
extended
go.
behind the curtains.
And we can ask more questions, deep dive.
Deep dive, yeah.
I think we really should think about something like that, because a lot of the artists that come on, there's just so much more.
Like all
we
the
wanna
third
know.
years we've had, like I'm like, but I have so many more
Questions.
questions.
I know.
And they're not technically involving their machines that they play off
because you
of.
get
Like, it's
interested in the person at some
Right.
point. You're like, okay, this dude is very interesting.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but look, on Thursdays, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is Sprinkle Town. You must go see this.
If you're not witnessing Sprinkle Town, you're not. I don't know what you're doing with your life. If you want to hear jazz and techno mesh together at its most perfect form, get to Sprinkle Town.
I got one beef, JRC. I got one beef.
Here we go.
Every time you're doing this show on Thursdays, I may sound greedy. I want more jazz.
Yes, I agree. I agree with that.
Right?
Yeah.
You just starve me out for
Yes.
some, and I get it.
But
It
maybe
really
that's
is a
his
happy
point.
blend.
Maybe that is his
That's the
point.
point.
Yeah,
That is
he
the point.
keeps you craving more and coming
You
back
sit there,
for
you
more.
wait, you
It could be
wait.
that what's it called? Unmet desire or something brings
Yeah.
you,
Right.
keeps
Yeah.
you watching.
Well, for
When's
those
he next
people
going
that,
to do it?
well, and also for those of us who honestly love jazz,
Jazz
like
music.
I love Ella Fitzgerald, I love
Right.
Nina Simone, and when I hear it, especially on a rainy day, and you can mix the both, it's like it's perfect.
There was this one JRC live sprinkles. I think it was last year where it was really jazz heavy, and I remember making that comment in the stream, and I was like, I've literally gone to the stars, and it's just playing jazz.
Right.
And I
It
think
was-
we were in the kitchen cooking that.
Yes, yes,
And it made
yeah.
so much more sense because we love playing jazz
Yeah.
when we're washing dishes or we're cooking.
Oh,
It's the
cool.
best.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not trying to sway you either way. But
I will.
But we
Or
are
jazz.
trying to.
Yeah,
But we are trying.
But we are trying. Yeah. Look.
Well, maybe look out for the D&B and Sprinkles because that might be quite interesting as well.
ooh,
Oh, there
I'm
you
very
go.
interested in that.
If I
Yeah.
think about that one. And I do want to say a massive thank you for asking me on because it's been great to have an opportunity to chat to you all. Yeah, thank you for kind of taking an interest, and it's great that people enjoy what you make at the end of the day because I think
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
that's a massive kind of reinforcer of
Yeah.
myself. I listen for myself. I originally did stuff so that I could listen to it on dog walks, so it was like
Yeah,
but it's
I've
nice
seen
and
your
it's
little
great
doggy
if other
walks, right?
people
Right.
On
like
TikTok.
it. Then,
Yeah, I don't think you know how much of a genius you really are.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. It's brilliant. Besides YouTube and the Bandcamp, where else can people catch you?
I guess Twitch. I'm on Twitch as
Okay.
if I'm not on as Jonathan R. Cross, I'm usually on as Piano Teapot, kind of all one word, but piano, then the letter T, and then POT. So Piano
Okay.
Teapot. So Twitch, Bandcamp is that one as well. Mixcloud, I put my last 10 live sets on there. SoundCloud, I've got my last 2 live sets plus a couple of tracks. And then Instagram and all of the other places.
Yeah, I follow you on Instagram.
Real quick, JRC, can you just make it as fast as you can? Why do you have people call out numbers? What are you changing the tempo on what machines?
So it's the Microfreak, and it originated when I started doing the stream. I used to twiddle the patch knob at random, just literally twiddle it and say stop. And then but because of the delay in the YouTube thing,
Yeah.
I'd be twiddling for 20 seconds before somebody said stop. And then
Stop.
sometimes
And
I'm
you're
just
like,
like,
yeah.
this is ridiculous. So then finally it's like, oh, stop. Okay. And whatever I'd stopped on, I'd have to use that. So then I thought, okay, no, just ask them, shout out a number between 1 and 512. And that's as I've got a patch in every single one of them on the Microfreak.
Yeah.
They shout it out. I've got to then use that sound in the next bit of the jam. And it just takes away my thought process. I don't have to worry about it.
That's awesome. That's
It's
brilliant.
the fault if it
My
sounds
number
good.
is always
And I have
1,
to
2,
tweak
3.
it.
Yeah.
Always 1, 2, 3. So
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
mine is 505, but we don't go that high.
No.
No, you said 512.
No, you can 512. You'd be good.
512.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you'd be
yeah,
good.
there you go.
Yeah.
yeah, mine is always. Every time I don't even say hi to anybody anymore. I just go 1, 2, 3
1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
in the chat.
Well,
They're
then people
like,
just
waiting.
see me and then they shout a number out anyway. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we've done that. We're definitely
Yeah.
guilty with that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much,
Yeah, thanks, Mumbles.
Jonathan.
Yeah, thank you.
Really
Here's a bit of
appreciate it.
Any last words, Tone Smith, sir?
I got nothing. This was great. I haven't been to a Sprinkles. I'll be there tomorrow night, though.
Oh, you
I'm
gotta see the
excited.
Sprinkles.
Like
yeah.
once you're in, you're in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
You
Beware.
can't get away.
Just maybe he adds a little bit more felonious monk in there. I don't know.
That would be great. I would
We'll
love
see.
that.
Thanks, JRC.
Thank you very much.
You beautiful
thank you.
bastard, you.
All right, everybody,
Appreciate
that's
it.
going to do it for us. But remember, before you get out of here, hype the damn channel. It's a thing. I
It
keep
is.
stressing this.
Yeah.
Go subscribe to JRC in upstate, downstate,
and
whichever.
all the states in between.
All the links will be in the description.
They will.
Thank you to all of the affiliates, Trader to the Living, Synth Samurai, This World Needs a Hero,
The
and
Hans Vote.
all of the Renegades.
The machines won.
And,
Crash Heads.
and Gracie, her third year will premiere tomorrow night, right before JRC.
And the hardware jammers.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
And if you guys don't know about Wire Baby and
Panda Man.
and Hostapole
And hardware jams.
and
You gotta
Hardware
go see
jams.
hardware
and-
jams.
Get out there and make some music and hit
Yep.
the theme of the hardware jam.
the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, you gotta go
Wasting
make
away your life.
go make some music. Go make some noise.
Right?
Alrighty, everybody, we are out of here. Thank you.
Peace.
Bye.